Hi, it's Corrine. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. So today I'm making this beautiful birthday card. It is measured approximately 4 3/4 by 6. And I made a matching envelope. I'm using the Altenew Mixed Blooms. This is a gorgeous set, so I've used the outline here and the matching die cut. For my inspiration, oh, and also I used for this background here, this is beautiful. This is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Photoplay. This is one of my favorite background stamps. Now granted, I just recently got it, but I think this is going to be a favorite of mine. For the colors that I chose, I'm using the Color Cube Volume 2. I selected 264 and I pulled out some Distress Oxides. So for the main flower, I used Peacock Feathers. That's the color there. For the leaves, I used Uncharted Mariner. Then I also pulled out Speckled Egg for this color here, and I use that in the leaves as well as the lighter color. And then for my two oranges, I pulled out Spiced Marmalade and Rusty Hinge. I don't have Rusty Hinge in the oxide, so I used the Distress ink. Oh, I must have pulled the wrong one, but I did use the oxide in Spiced Marmalade. So this gave me a jumping off point to use this color combination. And I also added some dewdrops. I stamped Wishing You and cut that out with a rectangle die from scrapbook.com, stamped on the inside. I used Dove Concord and Ninth Gray for just a light stamping on the inside. And I used Mushroom, Concord and Nine Mushroom for the envelope. And this is also Mushroom. And then if you can see the thickness here, I have a few layers behind it of thick cardstock. And this is all on a 120-pound base, so it's got a nice weight to it. So let's get started. If you'd like to see how this ink blending came together, I will add a video at the end of this video. I sat down one day and stamped and ink blended several panels. So you may have seen a few videos from me recently using this mixed bloom set from Altenew. It's a gorgeous stamp and die set. So I went ahead and cut. I show here one layer. I end up using 2 layers behind it, glue them together to give them some dimension. And I pulled out some Rainforest cardstock by Concord and Ninth, but then I decided that the ocean side would look much better, which it really did look really pretty on it. That matched my main flower, I thought, a little bit better. So this white piece is cut to 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to add a background stamp to that. My card base is 4.5 by 6, and then the ocean side piece is 5 3/4 by 4.5, or excuse me, by 4 1/4, I believe. So I'm using the Sweet Petunia corner piece. I added my white mat, and I pulled out the Thankful, Grateful, Blessed background stamp that I showed at the beginning. And I just wanted a light layer to it of ink. So I chose Dove by Concord and Ninth, and it was the perfect color. When it dried back, it was just enough, in my opinion. So I stamped that down really well. I do also take that same background die, or the stamp die rather, and I cut that out from that inked panel. Just kind of lined it up where I thought it looked good. I taped it down. And I'm very careful taking the tape off that I don't rip the stamped piece. So that piece there that I just cut out, I will use that to add a little extra dimension to the front of my card. So I'm going to glue down this stamped background onto the piece of Oceanside. And here's where I add that extra layer. I love a little bit of dimension on my card. So I do give that a few minutes to dry. And when I add that to the front of my card base, I'm slightly going to tilt it to the left, allowing that Oceanside cardstock to peek through. This was a very simple card to put together, but so pretty. Just using some Barely art glue and a fine tip bottle to add that to my card base. And then I'm using some Beacon Fabri-Tac to add that to the front of my card, giving that a little time to dry. In the meantime, I did pull out some sequins and some pearls because lately I've been using a lot of these dewdrops, but I ended up going back to the dewdrops. I'm just obsessed with them. I think they add so much to a card, and that glue dries completely clear. So I think they're so pretty on top of flower dies especially. I did add a Wishing You to the front of the card and used a scrapbook.com rectangular die to cut that out. I did do a couple layers of that just to give it a little bit of thickness, and I needed to add a little bit of foam tape right to the right of it and then use some wet glue to add to the rest of it, and that way it laid flush on the top of my card. I also finished off the inside of my card with using Dove ink with just a very light stamping of that flower set and a stamp that says happy birthday, may your day be as beautiful as you are. It turned out beautiful. I'm sorry I forgot to record that part. I just put it in my MISTI and stamped it out. So pretty. I hope you can see that dimension there. It just makes the card look so pretty. And I also made a matching envelope. I make all of my envelopes. They're just super easy to do, super quick, and I think it just adds to the homemade feel. So I use that matching cardstock, my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and then I went ahead and stamped using mushroom ink on the back of that so it matches. So I hope you've enjoyed today's process. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments section, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great day.